Good morning, comrades. You are listening to WHIVLP New Orleans 102.3. This is Good Morning, Comrade. You can listen every week on Saturday at 10. You can also listen anywhere in the world on WHIVFM.org/listen. And you can also check out our website to get more information about the show, goodmorningcomrade.com. Jeff and Robert in the studio today, in the virtual studio. What's going on, man?
Man, it's definitely been a week. I'm through it today in the adventures of Robert. So I go to the gym at lunch, and I like just walk, downtown from my office to the gym, and I'm benching like 220.
Oh man,
220, 3 sets of 8, right? Mm-hmm. 3 sets of 6, and in between my second set, I have a full-blown panic attack.
Uh-oh.
That was awesome.
That's not
just
good.
With like 220 pounds just hovering over my head.
Yeah.
My arms just went to jello. I got it back on the bar, and I'm like, am I having to play the game? Am I having a panic attack or a heart attack?
Yeah.
Because I'm like, okay, my pulse is high, but I'm also lifting weights, but also like I'm sweating profusely. Trying to have just sitting, like, luckily it was lunch and like nobody was there, and I just like went and got a Gatorade from the little cafe or whatever and just sat on the bench and just sipped on my Gatorade till I assumed maybe I wasn't gonna die. But that was the thing, and I think it has something to do with so I'm on like SSRIs, it's like keeps serotonin in your brain case. But the thing about having depression, which is cool because you'd be like, oh, I feel great, and I totally forget to take my meds. Well, Well, I took them all. Like the last one I took was on Wednesday, and then I just hadn't thought about it, and I just hadn't refilled, and I was like, oh, I'm having panic attacks because I'm having and I'm nauseous and vertigo because I'm having a withdrawals from my SSRI. I'm like, this is fun. So I got that filled, so hopefully my brain will be back to normal in a day or so.
Yeah.
But it was just like the most gross, weird feeling on earth. I did not like that at all. And it's like I come back into work and I'm just like a sweaty mess. And it's like that's exactly what. Not that my job is stressful. It's just like a million people there and they all want to talk to me, and I'm just like, oh god, I don't like this.
Yeah.
But luckily I have my emotional support video games with me at work, so it's fine. Like you asked me, or we were offline, and you asked me if I sold my Switch, and I was like, I sold it a long time ago. During COVID, I got back close to damn retail. I think I rented a Switch for $20. If that makes any sense.
For how long?
Yeah. No, you know what I mean. Like it was like a good at least a year and a half. Like I bought it,
nice.
and I think I bought it retail, and then I think I sold it for like $20 less because it was during COVID and everybody wanted to switch. I tell you what I have right now, and it's completely life-changing, is I have one of these, I don't know how else to describe them. Like, they sell one, it's called a backbone controller, but it's not. Like this is not what I have, but, like, people might know what I'm talking about. So what it is, it's a controller that accordions open, and then it fits your USB-C for your phone.
Oh, you have a phone thing?
Yeah, so my phone goes in there. The controls are like butter. Like they're as good as like a Nintendo Switch is. Without
the Nintendo Switches ain't that good.
I know. I was gonna say without the drift.
Yeah.
And so I have like every emulator known to man on my phone. Plus, it can do mobile games if you download them. Plus, here's the real kicker. This is not a sponsored commercial. I swear to God, but like. I finally found a use for Xbox Game Pass.
Is it for the phone?
Yes, it's absolutely unbelievable. So as long as you have 5G, at least 5G internet, and probably 4G would work, but if you have Wi-Fi or internet on your phone, you are streaming Xbox games. So like right now, I'm really into Yakuza Like a Dragon.
Oh
It's
yeah,
so
that's the
good.
RPG.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good. I'm doing all the mini games. I can't wait till when I finish this game, I'm gonna get the next one that's like set in feudal Japan. I love that kind of stuff. Like all those dumb mini games. Oh, like I love games where you can be like the difference between like the Yakuza games, and I was talking to my wife, like she cares at all, but the difference between Yakuza games and like Grand Theft Auto, because people were like, "Oh, that's just a Grand Theft Auto knockoff." It's like, no, it's totally not. It's like I would say it's better than Grand Theft Auto is like what I'm looking for, because in GTA you can like okay, you can go bowling, right? Like great, you can call your fake friend up, you know, on your the cell phone in game, and they'll come to the bowling alley. You can do a bowling mini game. Well, like Yakuza will have that too, but in Yakuza it's like, yeah, you can bowl. Plus, you can like get good at it. Plus, you can join like the professional bowling league, and then plus there's this whole like 100-hour experience where like you're trying to become the best bowler in Japan.
It's got a whole game inside the
Like
game.
yes,
It's got a whole nother game in there.
Yeah, I just finished the the business management game where I like became the number one company, the number one share publicly traded company in Japan.
Wow, you did it! Congratulations!
So dope, dude.
Yeah, congratulations!
So cool. I have so much as a good socialist. I have so much.
You're so good at capitalism in video games.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying it has like $2 million in debt coming from like employee, employee pay wages or whatever, and I'm like, I'm not laying these people off. Like the business is profitable. We're making every quarter we're making, you know, 1 billion yen. I'm not sweating 2 million yen a quarter to pay off people. I mean, what am I going to save? 2 million, you know, 4 million, 2, 4, 6, 2, 4, 6, 8. I'm going to save 8 million yen a year when we're making 1 billion every quarter. No, I want to sleep. I want to sleep at night. So my Yakuza guy sleeps at night. No, you should try that game though, because it completely turns the series on its head. You're actually playing as like not like an anti-hero. It's like an actual good person who was just like in Yakuza, and now he's not anymore. And it's like actually like a very, because the whole reason it's called Like a Dragon is because the guy's kind of he's like a tough guy. He's like a thug. He'll like beat you up in the street Yakuza style, but he also is like a dork. He's like a nerd. So his like main, he always equates everything to an RPG, and like his favorite RPG is Dragon Quest.
There you go.
So that's why it's even called Like a Dragon. He's like, yeah, we got to go into the dungeon and kill the slimes. And it's like, no, those are the sewers, and they are
those slimes have families.
Yeah, that's where the Korean like mafia is set up. He's like, yeah, we're gonna go down there and level up, and your party's like, we're gonna go down there and like try not to die.
Yeah,
because he's like kind of insane.
Okay,
but no, it's pretty sweet. Life is going over here in New Orleans. How are things? I know you can't get into super secret labor things, but how are things in VA?
Did I mention our Labor Fest that we held in
Labor Fest?
We held like a Union Fest.
Rad.
It was like it was like literally the idea. So it's in Richmond, and we had it at one of the parks, which also happened to be, because it's Richmond, Virginia. It also happened to be like the site of like where Confederate armies would camp at times, which is like
what?
Okay, well, because it's Virginia, right?
Yeah,
the capital of Confederacy, but like it's not. It's a park. Right, it's just a park.
I forget that Virginia's the South all the time.
Yeah,
but it totally is.
Yeah. Anyway, we had a day where we just sort of invited a bunch of the unions. It was like the week after. It was May 6th, about 2 weeks ago. We had a nice little cookout where all the unions in the area came by. We also invited like community groups and stuff, and just like had a day where we would like have music playing, grilling, and we'd all just talk to one another. It was cool. And the weather was perfect, and it was beautiful, and it was awesome. It was a great.
That sounds rad. We need to get something going like that down here.
I mean, like one of the important
Labor Fest.
Yeah, or we call it Union Fest, and like I was actually talking to like other people that do jobs similar to mine, and they were like told them about it, and they were like, "That sounds sick. We should do it here." You know, like all kinds of cool stuff. So That was really nice. And then I went to Baltimore last weekend. I was in D.C. the past couple days. I'm just always running around.
Baltimore.
Yeah. What's up? I was actually in New Orleans for 2 days. Actually, it was I got in Thursday, Friday. I got in Friday night and left Sunday during the day. But I didn't have any time to do anything because it was just like one of those come home and like fix stuff around the house kind of weekends.
Yeah, I hear that. And it's so hot here now. Well, it's not. It's really not that hot yet, but it's getting there to where it's
let me tell you something. When I got off of that, when I got off of that plane and I stepped out, it was like 90 degrees and humid or whatever. And I'm just like, you know what? Virginia made me soft. I can't take this. I used to love this weather, and now it's just like I can't hang.
Yeah, my neighbor's sons are here from Denver. And they're just like, whoa, oh, and I'm like, it's not even hot.
It's real. It's not even hot yet. You're not even ready for August. I didn't even miss an August. I didn't miss a single August, and I'm already soft. It's crazy.
Mang. Awful stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We had a referendum to not a referendum, but a millage to get more money for the sheriff's department, and it went down like 90 something percent voted no.
I mean,
which I'm like, yeah, who's voting yes? I'm like, it's that. Who's voting yes? Because the people in Lakeview are less like, oh, we need to back the blue, but I don't want to give them any money.
That's only like the loudest people in Lakeview.
Yeah, and then like, you know, people like us on team, you know, DSA or, you know, team lefty, who I don't want to blame these people because they don't have like a nuance, you know, they don't have a nuanced view of it, but it's like they're definitely not going to vote for it. I'm like, who's going to vote for this? Like, I didn't vote for it.
Literally,
either.
Only the cops voted for it.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't vote for it either because I didn't see I tried to find like a big plan of how the money would be allocated, because you know how we say, at least I do on Good Morning Comrade, it's like the thing about fixing the police is we actually do need more money, especially like the New Orleans New Orleans Sheriff's Department needs more money, but that money all has to go into payroll and vetting people to do the job.
And you can't, they ain't gonna do that. That's the last thing you want to do with that money,
right? And firing the people who are awful at doing the job.
Yeah,
because it's just bad. Like, yeah, I don't like that. I worked for them, and I don't like the Sheriff's Department either. But like, we need a functional jail in the city. Like, we're a major metropolitan city. We can't have like the Andy Griffith Show lockup. You know? Like, we can't have that here. Like, people are dying in there. It's a gulag. It's terrible. I tell people who come visit me all the time, I'm like, one rule is do not go to jail.
Yeah.
Because if you go to jail, man, you might. I mean, I'm not even joking with you. Like, they put you on the wrong tier, you might not get out of there. You know, so it's like, yeah, they need money, they need personnel, but it's just like how to make sure that money is going to the right places. Because the last thing I want to do is buy another horse for the sheriff department.
Yeah,
like they don't need that. I voted no as well. I feel bad for Susan Hudson, but which is our progressive sheriff. But like, I knew she wasn't ever going to fix it, and that should be her. I mean, I don't understand like politically why. When she got the job, when she was like voted in, she should have said, you know, like, look, it's this. I'm going to fix it. As much as I can in my term, but this thing is not going to be fixed in my term.
Yeah, but if you say that, like, then people don't elect you.
I know. If you tell people the truth, then they won't elect you. You're 100% right, because like.
And I'm not even defending Susan Hudson.
People don't do nuance.
Yeah. You got to send the most like unlike encumbered message you possibly can. Yeah. Like,
no, you're right.
I don't know, and that's why why LaToya has gotten so much success in the city, because
she doesn't though, dude.
Well, no, I meant like that. I mean, like she got success in terms of that she became the mayor and had no one even close to challenging her for that role. Is because she has absolutely no shame.
I mean, I guess, but like she had a platform. Like she had things that she said she was going to do. The thing people forget about LaToya is like, she had a platform of things she said she was going to do when she got elected, and she did those things. But the problem is, like, once those things were done, like, she didn't add more signature issues to like her tenure as mayor.
No,
And so now
it became like I don't hear my haters. My haters are trying to cancel me.
that's literally what I mean. That's exactly what she said on so many occasions. And just like she is, I feel so conflicted because like all her major scandals and stuff, the people are coming at her for, they tried to recall her. It's all own goals. Like it's all her falling on her own sword. It's self-inflicted wounds. But like you got to do better. Like you got to do better. And the other thing is that they wanted to recall her, but there was no plan. Okay, so the recall passes. So what's the plan? Who's running? Who you gonna like? No, it was just gonna be some idiot that they just install from the Garden District or whoever. And no, like there was no plan.
There wasn't a plan because it wasn't about that. It was
exactly
the whole reason for that was to purge the voter rolls. Which was what they ended up doing in New Orleans, and it's very hilarious that they want to do that. Like, what, a year out from a governor's election? You're gonna purge the rolls, the highly progressive rolls that in New Orleans, and essentially just like hand Jeff Landry the governorship.
I don't know.
I mean, he's gonna get it anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. I don't think there's enough. I don't think there's enough purging to shut down New Orleans. To shut down New Orleans' like political power.
I think we're just like, it's gonna be Jeff Landry. He's gonna be the next governor, and you're just like,
maybe it just depends who runs against him.
They ain't got nobody. No,
and you're right. The Democratic Party of we said this a million times. The Democratic Party in Baton Rouge is just awful, and they don't do anything, and they're terrible. My last point
up until 6 months ago, I was on the committee, and they ain't had a plan then. They ain't got a plan now.
No. Nope. Their plan is to be the opposition party.
Yeah.
And to tweet.
But
I was going to say,
get Katie
the
over.
thing about LaToya, the thing about like the mayor, which really kind of, it really saddens me because all this like extracurricular stuff that they want to come at her for would never have been an issue if she would like consistently deliver for the sans-culottes, or for like the working poor in the city.
Mm-hmm. Which she doesn't do. She also doesn't
do that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like she doesn't pander to the base, and then she does wild stuff or out in public. So it's just like, well, where's your support going to come from?
Well,
like,
the craziest thing is that she was unchallenged, basically. She was doing the same stuff. She was unchallenged when she ran for re-election. Incredible. Yeah, it's incredible that nobody could even like put up even a patina of opposition for mayor in the last election, and then all of a sudden they want to get rid of her. For what? For who? Who's going to replace her? Like, that's so ridiculous.
Exactly. I've sat around with a drink in my hand, with like talking about the exact same thing. But like, if I had any kind of money during her re-election, I would have run for mayor myself and done it as a protest campaign and been like, look, I'm not even trying to be mayor. What I want to do is get you on a debate stage, and I just want to give you like, here's a list of like grievances, and here's a list of things you should be doing better.
So you would do what Marianne's doing essentially in the Democrats?
Nah, no.
Is that different?
No.
Is that different?
Yeah, because I think deep down she wants a seat at the table. Like she does she wants to be somebody for sure. But I would have done it. It's more like what Bernie did with Hillary.
Mm-hmm.
Like that was like Bernie's campaign was a protest campaign that became real.
Yeah. And what's the difference between Marianne's campaign now and Bernie's campaign in 2016?
My
2020?
feels. I
Is
just feel like she actually did. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. I don't have any objective thoughts on it. It's just my feels of what I've read from her. She wants to be somebody. She wants to be in that.
So I think I like where we're going with this discussion because I know our friend of the show, Harvey K, who we haven't had on for a while. I saw that he is actually supporting Marianne. And maybe we should get him on to talk about it.
No harm in that.
We love Harvey. He's pushing for, essentially the most left candidate and I don't want to put any words in his mouth. And I actually emailed him when I saw him last, and I was like, hey, we got to talk. So hopefully we get to talk to him soon, and maybe we'll bring him back on the show. But anyway,
But like I have no problem with somebody. I would like that to have that combo and have those
Well,
questions answered.
well, I guess before we do that, before we do it with somebody else, let's talk about
ahead.
it with one another. Like, what should the left strategy be when it comes to supporting somebody like Marianne Williamson? And what is the difference between her campaign? And what is the difference between her campaign and Bernie Sanders' campaign in 2016 and 2020?
Well, that's kind of the thing, isn't it? That I was always told that in primaries you shoot for the moon, and then in the generals where you come back to Earth. So it's like I don't have problems with anybody supporting Marianne Williamson. It's like she's goofy, she's kooky, and she's said a lot of dumb stuff in the past. But like in the end of the day, like she's harmless and she's not going to be president. I would vote for her in a primary.
Yeah, I mean,
I would do it in a heartbeat.
And I think that like in order to answer it, you do have to genuinely like ask what is the difference between her campaign and Bernie's campaign in 2016. And my answer to that, maybe other people would feel differently, is that Bernie had a movement behind him and Marianne doesn't.
Right.
Now, does that mean that I'm not gonna like at least entertain or support the idea of somebody running to be the most left candidate in a race? Of course not. You can do that. I think to a certain extent you have to do that. But also when it comes to like how do organizations relate to that? Like what should DSA do? Should they support? Should they put any resources behind somebody like that? And
that's what I was going to say too.
I would say
no.
I was
going to say not to be super cynical, but like what kind of material support can DSA actually give?
It can't. It's a posturing. So that's actually another discussion, another question with in terms of specifically groups like DSA, like they should not be, in my opinion, and this is from seeing it from the inside. We should be like extremely selective of who we put money behind or any kind of material support on the ground or raise money for. It should be people that we are sure are on our side. And I say that sort of in response to some of the discussion we had a couple of weeks ago when a lot of the unions fell for Joe Biden as soon as he announced and didn't have this, visible democratic process that you and I both agreed would be better. But also, like, I don't know. I think that, like, the thing I would be fighting for, if I was active in DSA right now would be, hey, we need to make sure that we're focusing on organizing through these lean times where Joe Biden is breathing out, the anesthesia to all of America and putting us all asleep.
Right. No, I completely agree with you. And I think what's happening there is like conversations. There used to be a bar in New Orleans called P Rogues, and it's now called Velveteen. And we after DSA meetings, we used to always go there, and it's like, oh, we're gonna have P Rogues conversations. I think, and this isn't being petty or shady. I just think like the people that I've met locally and what I know about national is that there's a good amount of people. There's a good faction in DSA who also want a quote unquote seat at that table. And they feel like this is the route they're going to go to get it.
That's their path.
And to be like to have a say in government and to be a lanyard person and to go to the parties and the stuff like that. And to be honest, I don't think they're wrong. I think it doesn't get talked about in mainstream at all. But I think like as we talk about a third party. As far as like actually being able to get stuff done and muster people, and rally people together to move on something, I think DSA is like the closest. I know that DSA is not trying to be a political party, but I think they're the closest thing to an actual viable like voting block of or political party, not the Greens, not the Libertarians.
Well, I will say this:
DSA is close.
I'd push back on part of that point. You said that DSA is not trying to be a political party. They have a convention coming up this August, and some of the people that are running for National Political Committee in DSA are running explicitly on creating a socialist party.
Yeah. No. Okay.
So
that's
on the table. That's not off the table.
I've not been. I think the closest. I don't want to say rival's not the right word at all, but the closest parallel to the DSA of people who have actual like people in places of power right now are the Working Families Party. That would be like the closest like.
Which is like a fusion voting sort of thing, which is not something we have in Louisiana. Fusion voting is like this thing where I don't even really understand how it works in New York, but like you can vote for, like you can run on multiple tickets. Like you could run as a Democrat and as a Green Party, which is a little bit strange.
Oh, I don't understand that either.
Yeah.
I haven't done. I mean, I understand rank choice.
Yeah.
I mean, rank
Well,
choice
they have
is
ranked choices
definitely
in
the way
places
to
like
go.
New York now too, which is I think also plays a factor in that. And I'm not
Absolutely.
I'm not even gonna pretend I know anything about that one.
Oh God! Oh really? Like rank choices to me personally, it's like
No, I mean like how I know how it works. What I'm talking about is the implications that it has on how the parties and groups function, like Working Families Party, Democratic Party, and things like that. I'm not even gonna pretend I understand how like the down the line implications for it are.
I mean, as a knee jerk reaction, I would say it makes everyone accountable to everyone.
Yeah.
Like if you're a Republican running in New York, for instance, and there's rank choice, you have to like go and try to court left leaning people because maybe
at least a little bit.
Yeah, so that way they can at least a little bit. You have to pay lip service because now they might pick you down the rank.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
but
so it's the way to go. It would in my opinion, it would completely change. If we had ranked choice voting nationwide in every election, it would completely change. Like, I don't think right wing people would win another race, and I think anywhere that's just not gerrymandered to death. And I also think that the left would ascend.
So correct me if I'm wrong on this one. In the most recent,
that's why it'll never happen.
Well, in New York City, I think they have instant runoff voting, don't they?
And they do there. Alaska, I want to say like in Washington State.
So
maybe I could be wrong about that.
In New York City, and this is just one example, but like it's definitely like it runs kind of a little bit counter to what you just said. Is that Eric Adams, who was like a cop for stop and frisk, that is now the mayor of New York, and he got elected on instant runoff.
Yeah, but see, that's a problem with the left. Then it's like not having enough candidates.
Okay.
Not having enough candidates to where like this guy is viable down the line.
Yeah.
You should in a
with a stronger
optimal
left
situation, you'd be able to shoot a blunderbuss, a shotgun full of candidates. So that way, like whoever is down the line, they're carrying the same values as you. But that's weird. There's not enough people running. Is what that's telling me.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not up enough on how New York goes either. By the way, just to be 100% on that.
Also, New York is goofy too, though, because New York is not leftist. It's barely liberal. It's just a bunch of people who just like their thing. I think. And this is me talking out of my backside. I really believe that New Yorkers, it's kind of the same way of like voters in LA. They're like, well, since we're all here together, I would really like it if I don't see people like freezing to death during the winter on the street because I have to see that. So I guess I'll vote for like humanitarian policies where like somebody in Wyoming can just be like, let them die. I'm on my 50 acres and I never have to see another human. So I don't care.
In the cities, they want the homeless people to turn into a mailbox, like on that episode of The Simpsons.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. It's like, you're right. And that's the thing with, dude getting choked out on the subway. I know that was on the other coast, but you see they're like, there's been this kind of undercurrent of, and it's the most terrifying. This is scarier than Charlottesville. This is scarier than anything Trump did. This is scarier than anything in my lifetime. This is the scariest thing. It's really affected me a lot. Is that you see this like undercurrent you hear online. You're like, that was a shame what happened to that guy, but but it is kind of crazy.
He did kind of have it coming.
He did yell. He did yell on the subway, and I'm like, what? I'm like, excuse me. I'm like, this is America. Last time I checked, I was like, it's everybody's God-given right to be as annoying as humanly possible. And I'm like, let me tell you how this logic works. I'm like, if you think somehow there's any argument that this man should have been accosted and murdered on a subway train for yelling and being annoying, I was like, so you're telling me next time I'm on an airplane and some Karen starts freaking out about whatever, I can just get up and duff her out and turn her brain into paste and everybody's gonna be fine with that.
So my thing with this that kind of argument is that like they're making the argument that you can just literally choke somebody out until they die for being annoying. Does that mean they get to do it to you? You know what I mean? Like you're being so super annoying. Like that's that's exactly what they're saying.
No, you don't get to do it to you because you pay sales, you pay income tax. And you are a contributor to society or whatever, or to my airplane analogy, no, you were able to buy a ticket and get on this airplane, so we're going to give you some kind of respect. You didn't have to, spange for change and then get on the subway, and now like you're in the subway to not freeze to death during a New York winter. Like, dude, like it's the unpersoning of human beings.
Yeah.
And fascism gets thrown around a lot, like dystopia gets thrown around a lot, but this is what it is. When you start unpersoning people, no matter what,
dehumanizing them.
Yeah, it's a society in decline, and like we cannot allow that to even start to take hold. I mean, it's already started to take, but like as soon as that narrative like gets put out there, if you hear somebody and honestly, at my work, nobody's been talking about it. But like, if you hear somebody in public like talking about that, you need to be like, no, we don't do that.
Yeah, you can't.
You know what I mean?
Killing people for being on the subway for singing annoying or whatever.
You know how many times I'd be dead? I'd be in 50 chokeholds by now. Public, at a sporting event, my dude. You know how annoying I am.
Look, I'm not saying you were annoying. That's you, okay? I'm not calling you that.
Come on, man. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, and I just, it's really freaked me out.
Yeah,
real bad.
It's really horrible. We got to pause for station ID.
Yeah,
you listen to WHIVLP New Orleans 102.3, but yeah, we're talking about essentially the ways that we, and this is not like abnormal. It's like I think actually part of the thing about this that gives me a little bit of hope is that like this stuff has been going on for a very, very long time, and now at least people care about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that has a lot to do with technology and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I ponder that a lot. Like if Emmett Till had a cell phone, or I ponder that stuff a lot. He probably still would have got lynched.
Yeah, but he would have got video and it went viral.
Yeah, it would have went viral. But I think about that a lot. I watch a lot of like true crime. I watch a lot of like police stops. I watch a lot of courtroom stuff. Just I don't know why my brain is sick. I'm not well, but that's kind of stuff I'm into. I watch all that kind of stuff. But it's like like before we had cell phones, I remember in our lifetimes we're old enough.
Yeah, I remember.
To remember when I had so many people tell me that racism wasn't real.
Oh wow.
Or the cops aren't savage. Like what do you like? No, like you're making all that up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like as soon as everybody had a tricorder in their pocket, a Star Trek communicator, and we could record and video and audio, all of a sudden it was like, oh, that's very interesting. Wow, how is this happening all of a sudden?
Yeah, it becomes harder.
It's always been happening.
It becomes harder and harder to deny. And so the next thing you have to do is make excuses for it, which is like, that's the scary thing that I think that because I think we're kind of hitting through this in stages. And part of the problem with all of this is that there is a media ecosystem that goes from Fox News all the way down to Ben Shabibo and Steven Crowder and all these losers that like couldn't cut it in. They couldn't cut it in Hollywood. They couldn't cut it as a writer. They couldn't cut it as voice talent. They got ran out of Hollywood, and they just decide that their new gimmick is going to be to spread this hate. You know what I mean?
I'm not even talking about them. I expect.
Well, they're a part of essentially like the defending of it. You can't deny it anymore, so you have to make excuses for it. Is my point.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's what they're doing. And then it goes all the way up through Fox News. And like there's an entire system in place that's in place to launder this like horrible like the like back the blue mentality, even in the face of like cops murdering people in the streets or that there was the guy that choked the man on the subway. He was a former military or something like that.
Yeah, he's in the Marine Corps. Yeah.
He was in the Marine Corps, and he used a chokehold that he learned in the Marines. And like, there's a bunch of these people making arguments that are like, well, this guy's a veteran. We shouldn't even question what he did. You know what I mean?
What are you talking about? It's crazy. Like, I'm a middle-aged idiot. Like, but I did. I'm a middle-aged idiot whose like favorite pastime is like playing video games, and like I was in the Marine Corps for 4 years. Like I can throw a blood choke on somebody. I know exactly. All it is just cutting off somebody's carotid artery, and when you do that, you're stopping the blood from their brain, and then they're out instantly. Like it's 3 seconds. Like I've had it put on me. I put it on other people.
Your blood stops. Your brain is deprived of blood. Like literally,
they're out, and it's just like. He's not a hero. He's not a hero because he was in the Marine Corps. Let me tell you that right now. And I love being a vet because it's just one of the other like reverse Uno cards that I can pull out where people are like, "Oh, you're scum," and I'm like, "Oh, let me tell you about what I've done in my life."
You have you have the triple cop Uno reverse card, Marine Uno reverse card, and the bank like guy.
Oh yeah, I worked for Citibank. Yeah, I did all the bad jobs.
You have the triple reverse card. It's so powerful.
Let me tell you, and any Marine that tells you otherwise is out of their mind. Like they're lying.
There's some culture. There's like some culture problems in the Marines. Let's just break that.
Well, I'll tell you. There's some terrible people in the Marine Corps. There's people in the Marine Corps I wouldn't let. I wouldn't even let them walk my dog. I wouldn't trust them to come by.
Wouldn't let them mop my floor
and feed my cats when I was on vacation. Put it that way. Like there's some terrible people in the Marine Corps. And if you don't believe me, you're listening to this and you're in the Marine Corps or whatever, and you're like, oh, this guy's a scumbag. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Remember when your drill instructor told you? I know you've heard this sometime in the fleet. Disgruntled Papa Marine. I know you heard this. 3 months can't fix 18 years. Marine Corps boot camp is 3 months long. You got to be 18 years old to go there. In 3 months, they cannot fix that. And that's real. No, that is the saying. I should Google that right now while I'm thinking about it. 3 months can't fix 18 years. But yeah, it's real talk.
Yeah.
So that guy's a scumbag, and I really need him to go to prison, like immediately. The guy who decided to choke somebody out on the subway for 15 whole minutes in a chokehold that literally takes 3 seconds, and the threat is, if there was any threat at all, this guy's being super annoying. If there's any threat at all, within 3 seconds of putting that on him, he was out. And you held it for 15 minutes?
And those are the kinds of chokeholds like you're reminded of Eric Garner when he was choked out selling Lucy cigarettes in New York.
Yep.
He was killed by a police chokehold like that, and then they started banning those kinds of chokeholds. I mean, I called it a police chokehold. It's a chokehold that anybody can do. That's just a part of how they train it in the police. This guy would have, if he was a cop, he would have gotten in trouble for it. But like, he's not going to get in trouble for it now. Or did he get arrested? I think he is arrested now, right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
they're getting him on second-degree manslaughter, which people shouldn't poo-poo that because they're going for what they sure can get.
Yeah,
because you can't mess this up.
I mean, I've seen him mess some stuff up like this before.
Well, I mean, like the DA.
Yeah.
But they're going for what, the bird in the hand instead of trying to get Murder 2 out there. Because Murder 2 is going to be rough, but like second-degree manslaughter, you should be able to get that. Absolutely no problem. But yeah, I'm just really sick. And I know I've said, on our show that we live in the safest, most rational, reasonable time that we've ever lived in, the human beings have ever lived in. And that's still true, but the micro level right now in the last month has just felt like it's just been cranked up to 1 million. And it just feels like we're just like more and more into it. Like we're just more and more into a dystopia every day, and especially like I just came back from Florida not that long ago. I'm from Florida, and once again, I'm asking you if you can leave the state of Florida, get out before it's too late. Like that place is going down, baby. To be honest, this is another shower thought I've had. I don't understand. I mean, I understand why. I would love to be like the governor of Alabama. The governor of Alabama is like Kay Ivey right now. She's a piece of garbage. She's a piece of garbage. She's an absolute piece of garbage. But if I was the governor of Alabama or like the mayor of Mobile or Gulf Shores, I'd be like, do you not want to go to Florida because it's too far away and it's too expensive? Like, we're gonna do LGBTQ queer summer right here in Alabama all day. We're turning Gulf Shores into Fantasy Fest North because we're gonna get that revenue. It's like, come to Alabama. Our beaches are just as good, and we won't hate on you here.
Do you see what the
Have all the drag shows you want. We have 24-hour drag shows right now.
Did you see that the most recent Florida thing that happened, where they fired a teacher for asking?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I saw the headline. I couldn't read it because it was like make me throw up. So
they wanted he's fired for asking students to pen obituaries for an active shooter drill, which is interesting. There was also a teacher that was fired for showing a Disney movie.
That's what it was.
Yeah, so she was showing a Disney movie, and her name was Jenna Barbie, and she was a 5th grade teacher. Now, every single person, if you went to elementary school in America and you're listening to my voice right now, you 100% watched a Disney movie at school at some point, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
100% that has happened to every single. I feel. If you grew up in America, and probably other countries too, but definitely in America, you watched some kind of Disney stuff. So here's a Dateline, the 15th. This is from KTLA 5, LA's very
LA.
own.
Yeah.
Okay, well, a 5th grade teacher in Florida is currently under investigation after she showed a Disney movie that featured a gay character in class. This is what you were talking, to your point, about how they were freaking out about LGBT stuff, like showing a Disney movie with a gay character. Okay, that's like every Disney movie, right? If not explicitly, then at least implicitly. Jenna Barbie, who teaches at Winding Waters K-8 in Brooksville, says she originally thought the movie Strange World was appropriate for students to watch since it is rated PG. Despite the rating, school district policy states that all movies must first get approval from school leadership before they can be viewed by students. Quote, I was showing a movie to my students about Earth because it's our current lessons in science, Barbie said. So they're like investigating, and I think she ended up getting fired for this, for like watching a Disney movie. You would think that like maybe if they did this, and if it was a problem or whatever, like you would at least just say, hey, don't do that, instead of firing her, right?
Well, the cruelty is the point. Like, you'll know. I mean, if I'm going to put my conspiracy theories hat on as a teacher, Jeff, I think you'll agree with me. I think the long game is to destroy Florida public schools completely.
Oh, yeah.
No one will want to work there. No one wants to send their kid there. And then they can go, oh, this is awful. And they just privatize the whole thing like they've done here in New Orleans.
Yeah. And actually, you're right. I'm gonna say like it is an attack on teachers, and what we need right now is for communities and people to stand with their teachers. Okay, no teacher's perfect. Let me tell you that. Teachers are gonna make mistakes. They won't always agree with them or whatever. Every teacher I've ever worked with cared about the kids that they had in their class, straight up. And like the sort of perception that teachers are like working with this agenda to like the word indoctrinate is thrown around so much,
right?
But the attempt by teachers to indoctrinate quote unquote children into like the gay agenda or whatever is so unbelievably it's so unbelievably removed from the truth. It's a complete made up narrative, and like it's really just like one of the wildest things that has ever happened. Like, it's so crazy, this attack.
Yeah, the only thing teachers are working on is like these kids are trying to keep their sanity while these little kids are driving them all day. And then trying to make 9 months of pay stretch out to 12 because they get laid off for 3 months out of the year.
If they end up going to like a school board meeting to like push for like to get paid more, to like not be forced to have to do like whatever testing or prep or whatever, if they end up even going to the school board meeting, a lot of the times they're grading papers while they're there. You know what I mean? Like that's who you're bullying and like beating up and creating as demons and like pretending that they're pushing for the LGBT woke agenda or whatever. It's so oh my god, it makes me want to spit. It makes me so angry.
Talk about being annoying. You know how many chokeholds these teachers should have put on me if we're just putting chokeholds on annoying people.
Well, you know
shout
what?
Shout out to all my Florida teachers who I was just driving for 12 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they put up with all your
driving
kids
them every day.
They put up with all your kids' BS every single day. And they somehow don't like lose their mind. Oh, some of us do. But
Coming to school, pants sagging. Got my Star Wars Phantom Menace, a Padme Amidala cup, filled a quarter full of coffee and 3/4 full of Kahlua. So I'm like drunk in your class. I'm completely like, got my desk turned like parallel because I'm trying to hit on the redheaded girl who's like sits 2 rows over from me.
Yeah, but you don't have to do it so loud. She's trying to teach, bruh.
Exactly, dude. With a Sony Walkman in my because I got my little crappy job at the movie theater, which I scam them for, and I go to what's that, OJT, and I've got my Sony Walkman that I bought with my movie theater check that was like $100 due to Sony Discman, and then they take it from me, and they're like, oh, okay, good, now I can get peace back in the class. Tomorrow I just show up with another one.
Do it again.
And they call my parents, be like, it's Robert selling drugs, because how does he just keep replacing $100 Sony Discmans?
You just have infinite ammo.
Infinite ammo, baby. I'm here to make you crazy. I'm here to make you crazy till the class of 1999 graduates.
Yeah.
Boy,
Yeah.
It's bad out there, bro.
I mean, the kids, and you know what though? Like the teachers probably like are annoyed by that or whatever, but like that's just part of the job. The fact that they're like teachers being put under the microscope for showing a friggin' Disney movie is like, come on, bro. That's like the most basic stuff that you like teachers got to do just to like take 5 minutes and breathe out.
Bro, I don't know how any of these teachers do it. I had to do a career day thing for my job, and I ended up going to Ursuline, the all-girls school, private school. Academy. And the first thing I just realized was I was just like, I'm in class with all these like students, and I'm like, how do they tell these kids to stay off their phone? I'm like, everybody's got a phone, and they got to have their phone. I mean, I'm not saying that facetiously. Like, it's 2023. Like, you literally have to.
Everybody
have a phone.
has a phone,
and so they all got phones, and they just on their phones in the class. And I'm just like, I don't know how you keep any kind of semblance of order, or any kind of anything gets done in here. I don't know how it happens, and that's a private school. That's an all girls private school. I can't a school in New York that ends with a number. I don't know how to get anything done.
Or New Orleans.
Oh, well, New Orleans, they'll just kick you out.
No, it's because it's charters now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they'll just kick you out, and then you just be going to no school.
Or you have
to. They'll be like, oh, and you have to go to the special school.
Yeah,
because they run it like a business. You can get fired from school.
Yeah, kids can get fired now.
And you have to apply. You have to apply for school like it's college.
Dude, let me tell you something. When I was in, I learned that they were doing that when I was like in my school teacher training, and I'm like seeing that kids have to like basically write a resume to apply to go to a high school, and I was just like, oh no, there are problems with our education system.
Yeah. Because that's what charters, and so like any business, they're going to pick and choose the best employees.
Oh, the best parents, really. They judge the parents just like more than they do the kids, because the kid, if they can get parents to do stuff, then those parents will make their kids do stuff and jack up that school performance score. And which parents are going to do the most stuff? It's the ones that are most financially secure, that have to work the fewest hours, so that like it's end up going to be disproportionately middle class, and also disproportionately in this city, pretty white, honestly. Not exclusively white, but definitely preponderance.
It's bad, dude. Every time I think about like, oh, getting up there, maybe I should have a kid, I'm like, how are they? I don't know how these kids are functioning. I don't even understand. Like, it was annoyingly rough for us. I don't know how. As like elder millennials, I don't know how these Zoomers and
kids are tough, man. That's all there is to it. Like, kids are tough, and kids are pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie.
It's just like everything is so high stakes all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you have to apply to go. Imagine this. You have to apply to a job that you don't get paid for, that you could potentially statistically have a high likelihood to go get murdered in. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool thing to wake up to when you're like 13?
Yeah.
And be like, great. And then and your body's all screwed up because like you need like 12 hours of sleep a day, but these for whatever reason these classes got to start at 7 a.m. And teenagers' bodies don't get going till like noon, and they stay up till like 2 a.m. because that's just like their circadian rhythms are all out of whack through puberty. So we're just like we're making it's almost like an unpaid not internship, but what do doctors have to go through? Residency. Because they work like 1 million hours a week, and they're all screwed up, and they're not eating right, and they're not sleeping right, and put on top of that, like teachers who are like, "Oh, am I going to show the wrong PG movie and lose my income this week?"
Yeah.
Plus all that, are we going to get shot up by a rando who got dad's AR-15?
Hey, what if we?
Out of the
Hey, here's a question.
What a cool
what if we
set up for kids?
Okay, so you really, and also when you're talking about like all the stuff that you're making the teacher do, all this pressure that you put them on, why don't you just give the teacher a gun while we're at it? Like that's the thing that a lot of conservatives like to say to fight off the school shootings. Like, hey, you know who we need to put we already have a zillion billion million guns in America, and like we hate teachers. We've established that. We're gonna make sure that every moment in their life is a living hell. How about we give them a gun too? Why not? You know what I mean?
I don't know, dude. It's almost. I mean, I'm starting to sound like a prepper here. It's almost like we have to. In an ideal world, we would set up some kind of like commune co-op. And just be able to like hire teachers ourselves because it's just I don't know.
It's dark. It's dark timeline.
It's like I don't know how the kids aren't shooting up schools. You know what I mean? Like this is it's so bad for them.
Yeah.
How much time we got left? We got time to, since we're talking about scumbags, we got time to do an Elon Musk thing.
We have 8 minutes.
I don't know.
Go for it. Go, jump in. What is Elon Musk doing lately?
So there's an election in Turkey. Erdogan is the current president of Turkey, and he is an authoritarian scumbag. Scumbag is the word of today. He's an authoritarian scumbag, and there's a runoff because nobody broke 50%. So Elon Musk decided, Turkey said, "Hey, Mr. Musk, can you please make sure the tweets that we don't like from Turkey don't make it to Twitter?" And he said, "Absolutely." Authoritarian president.
Wait. You're talking about Elon Musk. The Twitter
Mr. Free Speech.
Twitter is the town square. We shouldn't be silencing anybody, especially if they give me $8 a month for Twitter Blue. Free speech is above everything else. You're saying that he's participating in government censorship? You know what? I think the Twitter files on this are gonna be wild.
Oh, there are. When he releases them to himself, they're gonna be wild. What an absolute scumbag! And I just feel like taking like a victory lap again for the millionth time is how many times I've been in a room with people with like incredibly high net worth, and I'm just like, Elon Musk is the dumbest man of all time, right? And they're like, no, he's an actual genius. That's how he made all this money. I'm like, no, his parents had a diamond mine, an emerald mine in apartheid South Africa. This man doesn't know how to run anything. Again, another person I wouldn't trust to come over here and open up cans of 9 Lives for my cats while I'm on vacation. I would not trust him to do that. He's not smart. He's an authoritarian. Cats. He wants to be. All he cares about is being popular. He doesn't even care about money. He just wants to be a guy. He wants to be a guy that people are talking about, like we're doing.
He wants to be the guy. He wants to be the main character on Earth all the time.
Absolutely. Let me see if I can. What the last couple minutes we have. This is from Slate. As of yesterday, just hours after Elon Musk announced NBC's Linda Yaccarino would succeed him as CEO of Twitter, the social network. Oh, we talk about the glass cliff. That's a whole nother hour we talk about. The social network got tangled up in a high pay grade global mess, one that has ramifications for free speech, world democracy, and fair elections. In other words, just as naughty as it will get for the bird site in its extremely hardcore era. On Friday night, the Twitter Global Government Affairs account tweeted a thread explaining, in response to legal process and to ensure Twitter remains available to the people of Turkey, we have taken action to restrict access to some content in Turkey today. The account further declared that Twitter had information from the account holders affected clarified, and that restricted content will remain available for the rest of the world. That is dystopian, disgusting, and I wouldn't expect anything else from Elon Musk. And before this whole legal precedent thing, there is no legal precedent. This whole legal process, there is no legal process. They said, hey, we're Turkey, don't put it up there if you want to be in our good graces. And he said, okay. This same thing happened to Wikipedia. Wikipedia took the government to Turkey to court and won, and kept Wikipedia unrestricted in Turkey. So this guy, man.
I mean, like,
this guy.
The thing is that, like, I mean, again, the way that he made such a huge deal about Twitter giving, like cooperating with requests of, like, the Biden administration to take down, like, to like delete posts that were, like, literally revenge porn about Hunter Biden. He says that Twitter should not have done that and should not have complied with. And look, I'm not here to defend the Biden administration or Hunter Biden generally, but, like, he literally is, like, saying you shouldn't be responding to requests from this campaign, but also I am going to go and just completely do whatever you want, Turkish government, Erdogan, you please, yes, I must do it.
Yeah, that's in a nutshell exactly what's happening from the free speech warrior, Elon Musk. He's the Pied Piper of
the worst. There is simps, honestly.
Mid people, who think they're geniuses.
Oh my god, like the
and
Jordan
there's so
Peterson
many of them
crowd,
out
the
there.
Jordan Peterson crowd, the Ben Shapiro crowd, and the Elon Musk crowd are just like the same people.
Small
like,
business
like,
tyrants, throw them in there.
Yeah, I mean that's
the petit bourgeois.
Yeah, that's all the same people.
No, absolutely.
And yeah, it's just really like these. It's really interesting seeing them bump from, like, one of these, like, weird grifter freaks to another. Like, they just keep going from, to Shapiro to Jordan Peterson to now Musk. Like, and for a while in there was Andrew Tate as well. But, like, it's just seeing, like, all of these weird cult leaders that that just, like, pop up in this country, and not just this country, but like have influence in this, like, new attention economy, I guess you could say. It's really, like, you're worried about what's next.
Yeah, and the thing with Musk is, like, I think he brands himself kind of a Lex Luthor, like, supervillain, but he's not so
stupid.
He's not even smart enough to be a supervillain.
Yeah,
he's not. He's some kind of Bond villain. Mm-hmm. Where, like, no, they wouldn't even send James Bond after you.
No, they'd send his dog.
It's not worth it.
They'll send his dog after you or something.
Mm-hmm. Actually, they're gonna send MI4, not even MI6, 2 levels down.
Yeah, you barely even get the M or the I.
Yeah. So bad, dude. So bad.
All right. So
anytime I see Musk, I just get riled up. So we should end.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap it up. You can listen to Good Morning Comrade on Tuesday. I'm sorry. Wow, I went back like 3 years.
Woo!
On Saturdays at 10 a.m. Right here on WHIVLP New Orleans. How long has it been since we've been on Tuesdays? Like 2 years. It's been a long time. What's wrong with me? And then you could also listen to us anywhere in the world, WHIVFM.org/listen, or you can find more information about Good Morning Comrade on our website, goodmorningcomrade.com. Robert, anything you want to say on the way out?
Pet your dog for me. Tell your dog I said hi.
Feed your cat for sure, but just don't let weirdos feed him.
Absolutely.
But
responsible people, not Elon Musk.
Yeah. Well, thanks everybody for listening. We love you. Bye bye.
Bye bye.